Hello, I'm going to show you guys how to tie a tie professionally. This is a double Windsor knot that I'm currently wearing. It's my favorite knot. It doesn't matter the size of your tie, it will work with all ties. Obviously I've got the tie on. I want to show you the right height to wear a tie. So you may have noticed that tie was just over my buckle of my trousers. The problem with ties these days, they're quite skinny, and doing a proper professional knot is quite hard to do if you haven't been wearing a tie every day of your life like I have. I see people wearing ties, businessmen, and I cringe, and I think you don't know how to tie a tie properly. The first video I showed you guys how to do a half Windsor knot. In this video I'm going to show you how to do a double Windsor knot. The description's in the video to help you if you get stuck. It's not rocket science, but you will have to play around with it a little bit until you get the hang of it, because everyone's different heights, and the way I do it may be slightly not right for your height. So let me get started. First thing, undoing my shirt, and I'm also going to undo my button of my shirt. Having a good fitting shirt is also very important. Always be gentle with your tie when you're taking it apart. If you're clever enough, you could just take this off and put it in your wardrobe and leave it for next time, as long as you could get it off your head. So this is a beautiful Windsor knot. This is what you should finish up with at the end. So let's take it all apart and may the games begin. Gentle with your tie, guys. Keep them as nice as you can, you know. And now you've got a tie. Right, so the seam of the tie should be against your chest. The problem that you're going to find is what height and where do I start with this part here. Do I do it long or do I do it short? A general rule, you'll have to play around, but for a double Windsor knot, you use a lot of the material. So you actually need to keep this relatively short. So I'm going to cross over my tie, and at the moment, from my experience, this is too long. So I'm going to take it back a little bit, and that may look a pathetic excuse, but that's the sort of length you want. First thing you want to do is get used to placing your finger and holding the tie straight. There's not much room between my neck, and I probably could use a little bit more. Give yourself some room to move. First thing you're going to do is go straight up under the tie. The seam of the tie is here, so don't worry about it, and you hold your finger and thread it through nicely. And now you should have a nice first Windsor knot. Now what you're going to do is you're going to go under the tie, and the seam of the tie is this side up, and you can just go straight over and straight under. And now you're going to hold your fingers here and you're going to thread your tie through. Now the seam of the tie is actually this way this time, but now you have the beginning of two knots, and this is where you can help yourself a little bit. You can tighten them up a little bit. Now I'm just using my finger under here to get a little bit of shape to it, and you see this bit here is quite big still. Don't be worried about that. Now what you're going to do is you're going to go over, and now you're going to hold it here. Now the tie, notice you don't want to crease it, so notice it naturally looks like it wants to go under here. So follow the natural way about it, and once again we're going to thread it through, and now you have basically got it right. You've got this little bit here that looks like, oh my goodness, I've got none left. Don't worry about that yet. And now we've got the tie. Now before you just pull this, you can actually pull this out a little bit, but you can stick your finger through it and leave a little bit of room to thread the tie through. Now you're going to have the seam of the tie against your chest, and you're going to have the good side, sunny side up, as they say. But you can see here, I'm not squeezing the hell out of the tie. I'm not twisting the material. I'm letting the material stay nice. And ties should be nice and skinny. Now this is where you start to think I haven't done it right, because it's very wide, but you just need to play around. Now notice what I did then. I squeezed it. I don't even think about it these days, but I squeezed it so I've got a nice V shape. It finishes across here, but there's also a lot of room here. Don't worry about that. So now we pull that down. Notice this bit here starting to go a bit, so we can just use our thumbs and we slowly push it into shape. So I'm going to massage the tie, and this part here is really small. Don't worry about that yet. And now I'm just tightening it up a little bit, and now I'm trying to get more shape into it. So I'm actually pushing. Notice how the tie is coming through. And now once again, watch this. Squeeze, and then pull it tight again. So now I've got a bit of a V shape. I've actually got quite a thick bunch of tie here, and that's how it's meant to be. Now what I'm going to do is tighten up my shirt. I'm going to make sure that this part around the collar is even, and now I'm going to start tightening up the shirt. Now I'm not going to just yank it. I slide it all around, and now I'm going to pull this one and hold the knot in shape. And then if I need to readjust, I will move it over to the side again, and then I'll readjust. And now I will start trying to keep it balanced. So I'm trying to push the tie and get that V as nice as I can. Once again, squeeze it here, and now you've got a really good V starting to form. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to have a look at the length. Now the length is about right. This is the ring, and I've got enough to tuck the tie in the ring, so I'm going to do that now. And now I'm going to make sure that my collar, get the back of it down first. Having a good shirt is also very important. I like the buttons because it does, if you're wearing a shirt and tie all day long, you don't want it to be like you're getting choked. I've got enough room here around my throat, and I can see that now. I'm going to go for the last bit of it, and I'm going to, rather than pulling it from the bottom, I'm actually going to put my finger under here, and every time I tighten my tie up, I'm actually putting it in there, and I take it away, and I've got myself a very nice looking tie. And I just make sure that my collar is even all the way around, and before you know it, I'm back in business and I'm ready to go to work. This will keep its shape all day long. If someone horrible comes along and they pull your tie, it will naturally keep its shape. See, I can now just tighten it up, and once again, it keeps its shape. It's the best tie. The double Windsor knot will work on any tie that I know of. Eventually you'll find you'll get the hang of it, and you'll get it the right height for yourself. Even I, after years, often put a tie on 2 or 3 times before I get it the right height. But as I said earlier, don't redo it every time. Just gently take it out, get it to around about the height, unbutton your shirt, and cheat. So take your tie off, put it over your head, and before you know it, you've got a tie that will be good to wear for all week, and you won't have to retie it each time. I hope that helped. If you do like my video, please like and subscribe. Really appreciate it. Have a great day. See you guys.